Hello friends, once again Scotty here. Today we are driving the 2019 Mercedes-Benz C300 4MATIC Cabriolet. I'll file this under cars that make you say, ah. I really have enjoyed my time with this car. It's powered by a 2-liter inline turbo 4-cylinder engine of 255 horsepower, 273 foot-pounds of torque. It's got the 4MATIC permanent all-wheel drive, the 9G 9-speed automatic transmission, paddle shifts, the dynamic mode selector for the suspension. Really well-equipped car. The base price is $53,850. Our test car was equipped with, well, like $17,000 worth of options. It's all in for $70,075. I'm not going to go through all the options here, but there are quite a list. We'll cover that in the written report. It gets a combined MPG of 24, 21 in the city, 29 on the highway. It's a nice car. Folks, it is a nice car. And I'm not just saying that because it's a Mercedes-Benz. I'm privileged to drive all kinds of vehicles, and some I like and some I don't. And it doesn't always have to do with price, what I enjoy driving. I have a history with various Mercedes-Benz products going back quite a ways. I had a love affair with a couple of 80s 560 SLs, which are Mercedes-Benz kind of vintage cabriolets, 2-seaters. They call it a 2+2, but the rear, you couldn't hardly put a bag of groceries in it. It's so tiny. But those cars are built like bank vaults. But they're not this. This manages to preserve that classic Mercedes-Benz DNA. It feels very well put together. It feels quality. Everything about it says quality. It is wonderful to drive on the highway. But it is in every way better than those classic Mercedes-Benz. And I have the Ballmeister, I think I'm saying it right, Ballmeister sound system on. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Which, by the way, is one of the best in the business. The touchscreen on the dash, I'm sorry, not touchscreen, the screen on the dash, it's most assuredly not a touchscreen, is very intuitive and easy to use. I'm typically not a fan of the ones that look like a tablet stuck to the dash, but this one I'll give it a pass because the functionality is so great. You basically have a dial here, for lack of a better word, that allows you to dial through the various menu options. You also have a button here, climate control, etc., etc. The collision avoidance and radar cruise control system, I can say without reservation, in the Mercedes is the best that I have ever used. It works very, very well, but it is unobtrusive. I drove a Japanese brand car not long ago, and although the system worked well, it always felt like it was kind of overcorrecting and jerking the wheel, and it didn't really seem in tune with me, whereas this one very much seems to be in tune with my driving style. There are various performance, or I should say dynamic driving modes. We have it in comfort now. I actually found for this car that I prefer driving it in the comfort mode. The performance mode stiffened everything up, tightened up the shift points and all that cool stuff. But that's really not what this car is about. I mean, this is a refined GT car, is the way that I would term it. I took a little trip down to Galveston Island and drove it down there with the top up, as we have right now. With the top up, it is very comfortable and quiet. You really wouldn't even know that it's a convertible driving it with the top up. However, when you put the top down, everything works seamlessly. The top folds very beautifully. It's almost like poetry in motion to watch the top go down. It has the air deflectors on the front and the rear as well. It got plenty of attention. Driving down the seawall in the Strand in Galveston, this thing got lots of admiring looks and thumbs up, etc., etc. So it's a pretty nice ride. Performance is not bad. I mean, for a 4-cylinder, I'm gonna kind of goose it a little bit. And as always, I'm not going to do anything too crazy. We have some beautiful driving roads up here, and this thing was a lot of fun to drive on those. And if it were mine, I'd probably drive it more spiritedly. Is that a word, spiritedly? I'd haul ass in it. How's that? You know, after driving this car, my wife and I both pretty well fell in love with it, and we really wouldn't have a need for a cabriolet, and this would be out of our price range. But I went online and I looked at what a C300 sedan is, and you can get a very well equipped C300 sedan for the low to mid 50s. I saw some slightly used examples, program type cars or whatever they want to call them, cars that are driven by guys like me, that were in the $40,000 range. So that's certainly something that we would consider. And as a matter of fact, I would tell you that even though this is the upper end of the Riley's price range, this is a car that my wife and I would both consider in sedan form. We're probably going to buy a new car in the near future, and I'm sure we're going to shop the Mercedes. So let's kind of do this here. Isn't this beautiful? And you know, you really wouldn't even know that it's a 4-cylinder if you didn't know it was a 4-cylinder. If you're looking for a very comfortable car and one that would seem to be very, very durable, at a somewhat reasonable price point. I mean, let's just be blunt. I mean, this is not a mass market vehicle by any means. But if you're looking for something that is fun and comfortable to drive, if you're looking for a cabriolet, I certainly would go look at the Mercedes C300. If you're looking for a sedan, as we will be, well, I'd go look at that as well. And I apologize for the car being a little bit dirty, but what happens is they bring me these things on a Thursday and pick them up on a Thursday, and I typically do the reviews on the following Thursday just before they pick them up, because that gives me a week to drive them and enjoy them and kind of develop my opinions. And by that time, they're not squeaky clean anymore. And we did drive this thing down to Galveston, so it's been down in that beach type environment. You know, as I always say, this is about driving impressions. If you want to get facts and figures and a bunch of dry stuff like that, there are plenty of sources for that type of information. What I want to do is tell you what it's like to drive the thing. And what it's like to drive it, it's a lot of fun. It's extremely comfortable. Also want to mention, as always, to tune in every Saturday to Tales from the Garage. We run the program from noon to 2 and 7 to 9 p.m. with my co-host Nathan Tazlier and Jesus Garcia. Nathan comes at us live and in person from his home base in the Netherlands. Jesus phones in from his ranch in South Texas, and I am, as always, in the Garage Deluxe Studios in beautiful downtown Richards, Texas, right here on the edge of the Sam Houston National Forest as we're driving through right now. We also want to remind you that we are GarageDLX.fm. You can also find us on the Alexa platform by saying, Alexa, play Live 365. It will ask you which station and say, play Garage DLX. So once again, the Mercedes-Benz C300 4MATIC AMG Cabriolet. Wonderful car. I hate to give it back. This is one that if I could, I'd hide the keys to. So Mercedes, thanks for the loan. Thanks to you guys for listening and tuning in, and we hope that you'll join us on Saturday and listen to the Three Stooges of the automotive world cutting up a little bit. And look, we have an emergency vehicle coming towards us. So I hope everybody's okay. All right, folks, be back at you very, very soon.